the Houston SD, you know, pandemic is getting disturbing. You know, I think they're not trying to say it, but it's supposed to be a D right there. Yeah, I heard about that Houston, that spring break. So, you know what I mean? Guess stuff got crazy. It was recent. So let's see. Man, this is great.
Now, I always knew we lived in a wicked world, but I'm starting to realize y'all are just some freaky deaky motherfuckers, bruh. There should be no reason why I'm coming across a news article of 42,000 people being diagnosed with an STD in Houston, Texas, bruh. One city in 1 week, 42,000 people. Like, it's really concerning to think that we live in a state of society where being a young hoe is praised. There's an entire hashtag on TikTok, hashtag young hoe, where girls are coming on social media saying, oh, I don't pump my own gas. I just want to go out. I'm a young hoe. Like, come on, bro. It gets to a point. Like, when are we going to sit down and actually ask ourselves, what are we doing, bro? Like, no. What are we doing, bro? Like, it really gets to a point. Houston, Texas, I'm not going to lie. I've heard so many things about that city. I've never been because I'm honestly scared of this. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you could take a wrong girl on a date, kiss her by mistake, thinking you're doing a romantic thing, being a nice guy. You come out with a bump on your lip. You wake up with 2 bumps right here. And now you're trying to put blood sticks on it, trying to hide it. You go into the thing to the all different types of like, it gets to a point. The Houston rodeos thotting is causing this problem. Make sure you guys do leave a like down below.
Not just the hoes though. It's also like the players too. So it's like it goes both ways, you know? And it makes now people are getting the ST, the D's. This is crazy, man. STDs. That's what they're getting, man. Because the players and the hoes, they want to do what they want to do. And this is what happens.
Subscribe. But let's get into this video, y'all.
Baby, I just had a conversation with one of my clients, and she said she took her kids to the rodeo, and her 10-year-old son just, his eyes was just about to pop out his head.
Imagine being able to build anything. Just
1931, there has been a big event in Texas, and it's called the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. It was founded as the Houston Fat Stock Show, but later it would pretty much be known simply as the Houston Rodeo Show. And last year in 2025, they had, get this, 2.7 million people show up.
Dang.
Woo! Houston is big, and so is the state of Texas. So people are coming from all across the state, all across the region, and some people may feel all across the country, all across the world. And there are different groups of people. Remember, Houston is not all black. But for the purposes of my channel, we're worried about what the Negroes are doing down in Houston.
That's a crazy way to say it, bro.
So that led me to investigate how y'all was out there dressing. And of course, knowing y'all, like I know y'all do, y'all was going to be out there doing the most. I know it because you're black.
He's right, you know.
But to be honest, it was some very, very well nice dressed people. I got to be honest. Y'all know I'm a terrible dresser, so any tips you can give me, email me at planetoshay@gmail.com. But for the most part, I saw some really nice looking ladies. I saw the brothers had the cowboy hats on, the cowboy boots. I saw y'all out there doing the little country dances and shit like that. I mean, look, excellent job. For you, bravo. Thank you for representing the community and the culture so we look like we had some sense. Unfortunately, though, we got to talk about the other part. Those of you who went out there thotting it up.
Got him!
And for the last few years, there has been some concern.
The Houston Rodeo is famous for a lot of things, but especially the fashion some attendees pull out. In recent years, some say the choices they've seen on the fairgrounds have gone way too damn far.
Now, you know it's bad when they got to go onto the news and talk about how y'all are dressing. That's how you know.
Damn.
It's crazy.
Talk
But wait,
about perspective.
there's more.
Guys, what is it looking like out there at the rodeo? Monique, come on now.
It is rough. I literally just went on Friday night. I had my 4-year-old with me, and I'm not joking. I saw a woman with chaps on and just a thong. That's
With
insane.
the ass out?
Yes.
Undergarments.
Under
or
chap.
undergarments.
That's undergarments, yeah.
Yeah,
And
not
I'm like
outer
trying to
garments.
steer my baby away from the sheets that are right at her eye level.
This is the same lady saying the same thing, that she's afraid to even let her child see what's going on.
That's crazy.
Now, this is important to know. Whenever I heard about people who were not dressed well or modest enough for the occasion, I never heard anybody complain about men or black men in particular. But who did I hear them complaining about?
Baby, I just had a conversation with one of my clients, and she said she took her kids to the rodeo, and her 10-year-old son just, his eyes was just about to pop out his head. She said it was hanging out everywhere. Cheeks
Man.
hanging out everywhere, in the front and in the back. Those hanging out everywhere. Hanging out everywhere.
Woo! Damn, she said cheeks, tickle bitties everywhere. I mean, stop the show. I should have went. It just seems like my kind of event. But seriously,
I told y'all overly freaked out, bro. Now, I ain't gonna lie.
think about this, right?
This girl right here, she could single-handedly be the cause for all of this, bro. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that she's a victim. I'm not saying that she's one of the 42,000 that have the, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that for a man to come to this type of event and see a beautiful queen like these, I can understand it. And one thing I'm starting to realize is that there are a lot of men who don't have self-control. Men and women. I'm not even going to speak only towards men, but since I'm a man, I'm going to speak towards the men. There are a lot of men who don't have what I like to call sexual discipline, who don't have that self-control. You feel what I'm saying? That every single thing that they see, they got to be like, damn, I got to have it. Damn, I got to have that. It's literally like a squirrel chasing a nut, bro. And I genuinely feel like if more men understood their responsibility in this whole entire thought culture, it would no longer be a thing. If men stopped praising and glorifying and simping over these little whores, it would no longer be a thing. Because realistically speaking, as men, understand, women will never admit this, and that's okay, bro. I'm speaking to the men right now. As a man, understand that you praising a woman for doing something is going to make her do it more. The only reason why women wear makeup is because they know that men like beauty. The only reason why women go and get implants and BBLs and all this type of stuff is because they know that men like these things. So if you're sitting here and praising women for being young hoes, then what do you think they're going to keep doing? Being young hoes. But if you were a man who was able to steward and maintain his own sexual discipline, maintain his own sexual desires, and stop being an easy victim to these women, bro. Stop simping, bro. If you were to realize the role that you play and start respecting women and start realizing, nah, you know what? I really do like a woman who doesn't act like this. I really do like a woman who doesn't act like a young hoe. I guarantee you, more and more women would start being more respectful. Less and less women will stop dressing like little, what do we call it? Vagabonds. You know what I'm saying? What do we call them? What do we call them? You know what I'm saying? Streetwalkers, right? Less and less women will stop doing those things because now men don't like it. Men only do things to attract women, and 90% of the time, women only do things to attract men, but they will never admit it. It's okay. That's their own thing. You got what I'm saying? Women are the only creatures in this entire world that would say that they like waking up, spending an hour on makeup for themselves. Bro, shut up, bro. Let's be honest with each other. Can we just be honest, please? You don't spend an hour doing your makeup because you like the way it looks, bro. You don't.
But they
You don't.
just for the attention, but for the man that they really want too. It's also it's for attention. They love attention, right? But it's also they're looking for that one man that they do anything for. You know what I mean? And so they're just trying to find that too. Attention of a guy that they would do anything for. But I mean, it's the wrong way. It's not right. So it's a sad thing, man. But a lot of people are doing it. A lot of people are broken. So they do this. And now 42,000 got ST, you know. Yep. So that's bad, man. It's disgusting.
You spend an hour doing your makeup because when you get that compliment, you like the way it feels. You don't wear the makeup because you want to. You wear the makeup because you know you like the way it makes you feel. And you only feel that way because of the compliments that you get, whether it's from women or it's from men, whoever it is from. It's the way it makes you feel. So let's just be honest, men. Start taking accountability, man. Start being responsible, bro. Stop chasing, bro. Stop simping, bro. It's not working. It's not looking good.
Right? Like, it's not only.
See, this dude took it to the other extreme. I didn't say to stop.
Now
liking
think about
women.
this, right? Like,
You know what I'm saying? This nigga took it to the whole other extreme, bro. I never said to stop liking women. No, like a woman. Don't be like this guy, all right? But shit.
it's not only the young children that are out there with their family and they're seeing women dressed inappropriately, but then you also have the elderly, which brings up the next point.
Or at least if you want to wear your coochie cutters and your Daisy Dukes and your coochies and your titties out, at least go at night. Y'all are up here with the elderly people at 10 o'clock in the morning with your coochies and your booties hanging out. Come on now.
So the issue with her is, okay, listen, if you want to dress as women provocatively, you have a good opportunity to do that in the night. But y'all don't want to do that. Y'all come in during the daytime where some of the older people, you know, they don't want to be out at night. They come during the day. And then you're disrespecting the people. And I would say it because she's black, the people in our community by dressing inappropriately. Okay. Some women got husbands and all that other stuff. And even if they do got husbands, it doesn't mean that they don't want to see you out there looking like you're out there selling your cat, right? This is a problem. But this is the video that went viral.
It took the Houston rodeo for y'all to see that our women dress scantily clad. It took the rodeo to see that our women embrace whore culture. They do. As a single man looking into the market, you don't just see it at the rodeo. It's on dating sites, the internet, all over social media, their profiles. Hey, when you see that over the shoulder look, that over the, what is that pose? You know what I'm talking about when they turned around and showing their ass? Why that pose?
Woo! So then don't like that picture, bro. I'm the type of man that I genuinely believe that a lot of the things about society are based on men. A lot of the problems in society are on the shoulders of men. And I think that as a man, it is important to take accountability and recognize your role. Never been the type of person to point a finger and be like, oh, well, she did this and she acts like this. And
You know, sometimes I struggle with it myself. I need to stop, man. But yeah, I'm thinking about it. He's right, man. Like, listen to this guy. Like, we're only destroying ourselves. We're never gonna end up with a woman that's gonna be faithful, because every single one's gonna be ending up like that. You know what I mean? Then we're all the good women, since we're giving attention to the ones that were bad. You know what I mean? Give to the right ones, man. The ones that are more. Don't we like that innocence? You know what I mean? We need to get that. You know.
she's doing this and she's doing that. No, bro. That's not what it is. If you think that she's doing that because of her, then you're not a man who's in control of certain situations. And that's okay. You're just a beta. Not this whole alpha red pill bullshit that I be hearing nowadays. No, it's not about that. But it's about understanding that your masculine frame is what creates the feminine energy. By you sitting here allowing or praising women for acting certain ways, this dude is complaining about the way that women post on Instagram. But if you scroll down and see her likes, she got tens of thousands of likes. Stop liking this shit, bro. I really believe that men need to be men again, bro. Men need to start like taking control of their own desires, their own actions. Bro, read the Bible, bro.
Yeah.
Honestly, read the Bible. If you don't have a moral compass on what is right and what is wrong, read the Bible, bro. I'm not going to sit here and get all scripture. I'm not going to sit here and get all preachy. But there's one scripture that made me realize sexual immorality, in other words, being promiscuous, being a part of this type of culture, is the only sin that you are committing to your own body. Every other sin is committed outside of body. But the sexually immoral sin is committing sin against himself. That's First Corinthians chapter 6, verse 18. Go read it. Flee from sexual immorality because the sexually immoral person sins against himself. When I read that, it made me not want to look at women in that way. But I'm still a man. Of course, I'm going to look at women and be like, damn, she's bad. Of course, I'm still going to look at women and be like, damn, I wonder what that shit be like. That's natural human desires. But that doesn't mean I act out on everything that I feel. The same way that if I'm mad, I'm not going to just walk around punching people in their face. The same way that if I'm feeling a little bit, you know what I'm saying, a little freaky deaky myself, I'm not going to be out here in the streets just laying pipe down to everybody that I think is attractive. Because I'm starting to realize by you acting like that, that's how you end up here. That's where you end up with the 42,000 people diagnosed with an STD in Houston, Texas last week, bro. One city, 1 week, you're cooked, bro. Like, this is absolutely insane, bro. Absolutely insane. And what I'm realizing is you look at things like spring break, you look at things like the rodeo, you look at all of these events where promiscuity or being promiscuous is kind of glorified or idolized or appreciated beyond what it should be. It's like, I get how it's difficult, bro. I get it. But that's exactly how sin works. That's exactly how the devil works. The devil's going to put things in front of your eyes, dangle them in front of your eyes. This looks nice. You're going to be like, damn, that shit do look nice. Damn, that shit do look nice. I ain't going to lie. She does look good. When she walks, I do see the cheek bounce, and I do see the cheek to cheek bounce. The bounce on this side is equating to the bounce on. I get it. The devil going to dangle that shit in front of your face. And then when you do take her home, when you do, you know what I'm saying, go crazy, and you wake up with a bump on your thing or a bump on your thing, hey, the devil done got you, bro. I can guarantee that level of temptation, that level of sexual immorality does not matter. What you felt in that 5 minutes when you saw her walking right in front, it won't matter anymore, bro. You're going to feel regret for the rest of your life because you had sex with that one girl. Bro, be the most powerful men are the ones who are sexually disciplined, bro.
Again, I saw very many videos of this event, women dressed up for the event. And yes, were there some women dressed provocatively that I can see? Of course. But I saw some women, dressed very sexy, boots, nice skirts, covered, wasn't showing. I mean, just dress good. You know how the sisters gonna do. They're gonna look good. They're gonna come on point, okay? That was a lot of them, not gonna lie. This whole idea of some of the ladies coming in looking like 304s, yes, I did see that. And I gotta talk about that because a lot of the women who may have been there and are dressing like that when you're going out in public, you are definitely allowed to do what you want. Don't get me wrong. You're an adult. It's your outfit. It's your body. But the problem with this is that, like the young man said, and he's not a man that's just speaking by himself. It's a lot of men that secretly feel like him, which is you're a young man, you would like to get married possibly, or you would like to be with somebody possibly. And then you're seeing an enormous amount of women who are dressing sexually provocatively and at the same time want to get into serious relationships with men where a man will marry them. Okay. And he's trying to explain that this is not the issue. Here is also the problem with a lot of men that come and see these women. We all know that trying to shame these women for how they dress or even try to tell them that they shouldn't dress like this, the feedback is not going to be nice. Black men are in no position in today's age to instruct or tell these women what they should do. And I'm not trying to say that black men are not worthy of that. We're just in no real position because they're not going to.
These women, bro, hey, they need help. They need some real serious steering. And we all need to come together, man, and teach them. You know what I mean? We got to discipline them. That's the whole point, right? They love that. But right now, they don't have that. They only see the attention and being spoiled. Getting all that attention, man. And they can't stop craving it, man. Because that's just what they are, right? We need to teach them, man, to not act like this, bro. Or, like, hey, you probably won't find one white figure anymore. You know what I mean? It's just going to be all of them being passed around. Yeah. What a sad world, bro. These women are broken.
Receive it well. All right. So the women who are going out looking like this, dressing provocatively, cheeks hanging out, I mean, this is what you get. You're going to attract the wrong kind of people to you, and then nobody's going to take you seriously. But also, here's another part.
And if you think it's a problem for them to walk around your kids like that, they at home walking around their kids like that in panties and bras. Yes, they are.
Yeah.
They're walking around their kids like that. No shame.
So he says it's already bad enough that they're going out walking in front of other people's kids like that. But the most important thing that you got to understand is they're walking around their own kids like that. Woo! And let's talk about the ecosystem that is being created here. When women dress provocatively outside, inside of their home, they're doing the same thing. So what it does, it creates this ecosystem of, number one, kids growing up in there, women, I'm going to do whatever the hell I want to do. Nobody can tell me anything. I can be just like my mom was, no matter how functional or dysfunctional that is. And then this person, let's say, for example, a female or daughter, is going to grow up being very incompatible for what men want. The young man was saying in the article that, yes, it's okay to be sexy. It's okay to be beautiful. But a man is looking for a woman who is modest in apparel. This is not to say that,
so that's it's very simple, bro. If that's what men are looking for, then don't accept anything else, bro. Don't accept anything else, bro. Like, it's so crazy how women nowadays have all of these delusional standards. Like, you can see a 300-pound girl. No, not fat shaming at all. Matter of fact, I am fat. I am. You should, it shouldn't get to that point, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. It should be no reason, bro. You can walk. You know what I'm saying? And even if you can't walk, you can just not eat that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can control that. But women nowadays be 300 pounds and shit. Talking about, I need a 6-figure man. I need a man who's 6 foot, making over 100,000 a year, who's gonna take care of me, take me on vacation. It's like, baby, you're not even taking care of yourself, bro. You want a nigga to take care of you, can't even do it for yourself, bro. But these girls have all these unrealistic expectations, bro. As a man, you should be having expectations and standards too. 100%. I guarantee you, if you were a man, if every single man in this entire world said right now, today, I will never date, marry, or give attention to a woman who has over 10 bodies, or who dresses like a night walker, or who acts like this, or who does this and does that, they will start to change. You will start to influence their habits. The same way, if a woman says, I need a man who does this, who's tatted, a man who's tall, I need a man who makes money, you're going to try to make money to get the girl. You're going to get tatted to get the girl. You're going to hit the gym to get the girl. It changes your habits. It works both ways. We feed off of each other. We literally can't live without each other. literally can't live without each other, bro. That's the way God designed it. That's the way God made it. With intention. We can't live independent of one another. And once again, as a man, I feel like the burden of responsibility always falls back on men. Of course, women are able to make their own decision. Of course. Of course, men are able to make their own decision. But as a man, your masculine frame is to lead, correct? Every man wants to be a leader and a provider and a protector.
Men lead, women follow. Whatever man and whatever their thinking is, and if they accept it from a woman, the woman's gonna keep doing it because she's following what he likes. So if he likes, basically, it's they think that he likes how they're dressing and gives them attention, and they go humpy and stuff like that. They're gonna keep doing that because that's what's, you know what I mean, getting their attention, right? And also they look up to them. So whatever they think, they're gonna do for them. It's, you know what I mean? So it's like that.
Never date, marry, or a man. If every single man in this entire world said right now, today, I will never date, marry, or give attention to a woman who has over 10 bodies, or who dresses like a night walker, or who acts like this, or who does this and does that, they will start to change. You will start to influence their habits. The same way, if a woman says, I need a man who does this, who's tatted, a man who's tall, I need a man who makes money, you're going to try to make money to get the girl. You're going to get tatted to get the girl. You're going to hit the gym to get the girl. It changes your habits. It works both ways. We feed off of each other. We literally can't live without each other. Literally can't live without each other, bro. That's the way God designed it. That's the way God made it. With intention. Live without each other, bro. That's the way God designed it. That's the way God made it. With intention. We can't live independent of one another. And once again, as a man, I feel like the burden of responsibility always falls back on men. Of course, women are able to make their own decision. Of course. Of course, men are able to make their own decision. But as a man, your masculine frame is to lead, correct? Every man wants to be a leader and a provider and a protector. How do you expect to lead if you can't even control this situation, bro? You want her to do this, and that. You can't even control. You don't even know how to lead it the right way in this type of thing, bro. That's just the reality of the matter. But look, y'all, I'm going to end this video here. Let me know in the comments what you guys think down below. I'm very curious to know what you guys are thinking about this topic of conversation. 42,000. Now, I know that this is an old post, right? But that doesn't mean that it's not true. I want you guys to look back at the rates of the STDs, right? I want you guys to look back at the rate of STDs over the past couple of weeks in Houston during spring break. All right. Spring break rates were absolutely insane. I don't know if these are the exact numbers for this particular spring break, but you can take a look at what it was and you will see that it's disgusting. But I'm catching on the next one, man. Peace. Every single month, I work with a small group.
We need to discipline our women. That's the whole point, right? We discipline ourselves and then discipline the women so they can follow. We're not disciplined. We're all like, I say it, man. This world is full of spoiled brats. We need to fix that. So let's get back to being men. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe, all that.